Hello everyone, welcome to a high-level best of 5 between, in the bottom left, spawning as the blue Zerg player, it's Mr. ROACH. In the top right we have herO here, both players playing for Team Dragon Phoenix Gaming. As ROACH is sending his first drone up towards the top of his base to throw down a quick pool here. Seems to be opening up with a 12 pool. herO, of course, with a quick scout as he... Wait, where is this scout guy going? Hello? This is not the optimal path that a worker can take to block their opponent's natural. I'm surprised, shocked. I have no clue what this worker is up to. I'm not quite sure if herO knows what this worker is up to, but... Oh no, he does. He has plans here for this bad boy. As there's a gateway being thrown down at home, and I guess this is going to be a pylon of sorts here being built. Will this be? Yes, this is just going to be a proxy gateway here for herO. It's the only thing I can imagine that makes any sense. And now, on any other situation, I would have loved to see how this is going to pan out, but right now I already know how this is going to pan out. herO will be completely unaware of the fact that there's going to be 6 to 10 Zerglings marching across the map in the next 30-20 seconds, and he'll be completely unprepared. He'll lose a lot of workers, and well, unless this gateway somehow, some way wins him the game, it's going to be a very rough start here for the Korean Protoss player, who's even sending his worker back home, doesn't even go for a scout, and as a result will have absolutely nothing here. No zealots starting yet. This is going to be 6 links against a pylon, and the pylon does not fight back. There's no mothership core anymore that can overcharge the pylon. This is a useless structure. Nexus get thrown down as well. This is obviously a fake Nexus. Oh, I would have loved to see how this build is supposed to pan out, what the goal of this build order is, but I don't think we will get that honor this game. The first pylon is about to be taken out already. Adept barely starting. Nexus get cancelled. We see a big pro pool here coming out of herO, who wants to try and surround these links. If he can get a surround on these links, perhaps there is some potential. Oh no, a supply block. A full chrono wasted on this Adept over here. He needs to lose one worker. Well, he loses more than one worker. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As I'm showing off my ability to count, herO is showing off his ability to lose workers here, and he's doing it at a very rapid pace. The drone returns back home, happy with what he saw. He will gladly report back that big losses were had on the other side of the map. Another worker will get taken out by these 2 links, as herO's not having the greatest micro. 12 workers have gone down, and now a single Adept will need to do something similar. We will require a similar performance out of this single Adept, the same that we have seen out of these links. I don't think it's going to be possible. Well, first worker is down right now. Second worker could get targeted as well. herO needs to pay attention. He's gonna get 3 workers here. That's a good start. It's more than I had expected. And if he just hadn't lost 13 workers, I even feel good for him. I'd be happy. Be like, wow, what a great start for herO. This looks fantastic. But well, in this case, it just doesn't look that great. Double Adept is going to shade up in towards the main base. Drones trying to dodge these Adepts as more links are being produced. Ooh. Split shots there out of herO means that these Adepts get to shoot a bit longer than ideally they should be. As the Adepts finish their shade in towards the natural. 3 more workers do go down. I'm not saying herO is doing it, but he is doing something here, and that's quite a lot of damage. Sadly, there's 3 queens out already. These Adepts are gonna get taken out. There's no Nexus yet. 9 workers, no more workers in production. I think herO, honestly, even if he would kill 5, 6 more workers at this point, it's not going to be enough. GG gets called. ROACH wins game number 1 and puts himself up 1-0 in this best of 5. Sly ROACH managing to pull out a win within 4 minutes in that first game there with that 12 pool. Now, of course, herO's build not really helping him. Not getting any scouting info whatsoever is always painful. This time around we see a switch of tempo out of the Korean Protoss player, who's just gonna open up with that quick scout that we so often see here. ROACH plops down that 15 hatchery, so cutting 1 drone in favor of getting the hatchery down on the natural. This is a play that we don't see very often, but when we do see it, it often succeeds in its goal, which is just getting that hatchery down. Beautiful stuff here for ROACH, who is trying to make sure that all his drones keep mining for now. And we'll just, actually, he's just gonna chase this probe around. There's no way that this is an efficient way of dealing with this, but then again, I've never won Intel Extreme Mastered Katowice. I haven't won BlizzCon either. So I think I'll leave this to Rogue for what is efficient and what needs to be optimized and whatnot. He seems to be happy with this response. I've seen him do this in the past as well. So we'll, you know, keep going, Rogue. You do you. Cybercore is going to be thrown down here. herO is one of the players that often makes other tosses look kind of dull and uninventive. Just boring. herO is a toss that is extremely innovative with his build orders. He's someone that plays quite fast, extremely aggressive. I mean, we saw last game he wanted to proxy a freaking gateway on the other side of the map. That was a TVT build for the love of God, but he decided to throw it out here in a PvZ. I actually think this probe could have died with the double drone pool. Rogue decided not to do that. It's fine, as this probe is going to make its way back home because of that. Warp gate gets started immediately here, and although we're playing on glittering ashes, it feels as though herO is planning on opening with something that isn't a Stargate opener. And as I say that, he throws down a Stargate. And the reason why I said it's not going to be a Stargate is because the Warp Gate and the first Adept started at the same time. This is an extremely rare thing to happen for someone opening up with a Stargate, because the 50 gas that you're investing in that Warp Gate can allow you to get a quicker Stargate, and it doesn't do much to get a faster Warp in. It's actually completely useless in the majority of the Stargate builds. However, there is one scenario in which I do like it, and that is in the case of a Twilight Council follow-up. If herO follows this up with a Glaives build, it will allow for him to get a faster initial warp in. That is something that we could be seeing, although no second gate has been built yet, so perhaps it's also not what we're going to be seeing. Third pylon will get built, and, well, second gate goes down, but this is not in line with the warp gate finishing. So at best, this quick warp gate is going to allow him to warp in one more adept rather than having this void ray 6-7 seconds faster, which definitely would have been possible here. Interesting calls. Of course, it also it just confuses the opponent a little bit, which is always important, but that confusion is out of the window right now as Rogue spots everything. Sees actually saw nothing building there. No second unit was being produced. That is a little bit suspicious. And it's going to be a robotics facility just at the 4-minute mark. This is not extremely fast. Twilight Council goes down at the same time. We could be looking at perhaps an Archon drop. Okay, Forge also gets built here. A confusing opener here. I'm not so sure what we're looking at currently. I don't think Rogue knows what he's looking at currently either. He's not going to see anything of an Oracle. Now, if you don't see a second Stargate unit, this often is to afford faster tech for the Protoss, right? 150 minerals, 150 gas, that's a lot of resources that can be invested in quicker tech. So a Zerg mind will rapidly start moving towards things like a Glaive follow-up, a charge lot all-in, like we've seen Zest do a lot in the past on maps like Blackburn, and even on Oxide against Raynor in the 2021 Intel Extreme Masters Katowice also pulled it out. So it's just one of these builds that there's definitely a possibility. A couple of safety roaches could be what's coming after these overlords finish up. There's 5 overlords on the way. However, herO is actually opting to follow this up with a big influx of gateways and Blink with +1. Now we have 18 links being produced here at a rather odd timing. This almost feels like a Nidus build in a way. Just a lot of links for no real reason. Extra gas is being produced as well. Okay, now 6 drones again. It feels like Rogue doesn't quite know what he's up against. He doesn't really know what he wants to play himself either. And that leaves him reacting, but leaves him reacting while being down 4 or 5 workers. He will now get a scout on a lot of these sentries. So he sees a high sentry count. Scouts that a stalker is being warped in as well. This is good info here, as herO is actually kind of getting blasted here on his side of the map. It's nice that you have a Blink Stalker all in with this, but I mean, it's just gotten scouted. It's just going to be really difficult. I'm trying to figure out a way in which this build is going to work out well for herO, and I just can't really see it happening. He has good production, his worker count isn't too bad, his opponent was on a low worker count for a long time. Usually this type of build can be defended of 75, 76 workers with 4 hatcheries. This time, however, because of that wonky early game for Rogue, he has a low worker count and his production perhaps isn't as high as he ideally would like. However, there's still going to be Ravagers, there's upgrades on the way for the Ravagers. Roach speed finishes up, there's a lot of queens with an absolute crap ton of energy, and as all of these fights are probably going to be happening on creep, transfuse is going to be available as well. So yeah, I'm curious what we're going to be seeing here. As herO now decides to throw down double gases at home and is looking for an angle to engage in. He does have an observer with him, so perhaps this was just a bit of an investment to try and deny some creep, see if he can kill a fort base. It's all well, but this is an army that does need to achieve something, and just killing a couple of creep tumors often isn't big enough. Here we see the start of a fight. A couple of blink stalkers are moving back right now. All force fields have been expanded. Ooh, the prism is getting low. Prism's getting low. Will escape barely. And a couple of battles will not quite connect with these stalkers. Roach Ravager count is still sufficient. As, Rogue needs to be careful here, fighting off creep, of course. There's still a couple of transfuses available. With pure Stalker, it's going to be difficult to fight this, honestly. There's a lot of Ravagers around. You have 10, 12 more Roaches on the way as well. herO's going to continue pushing here, as we have more injects coming out. But yeah, this is what I was worried for Rogue. He just does not have the production to spend all of his money. He's currently almost 2k resources in the bank. He can't quite use it. You could say, well, why doesn't he just morph a couple of Ravagers? Because he doesn't actually want that many more Ravagers. And as I say that, he morphs 11 of them. I think that's a mistake. You probably want to keep at least a couple of Roaches alive to help tank for this type of fight. The downtime of these 11 Roaches was perhaps a bit too much, as +1 is about to finish up for Rogue. Here, Stalkers microing off creep. This is pure Stalker right now against mass Ravagers. Now that these Ravagers have finished, of course they're going to be very useful at just zoning out this army. You can preemptively bile areas and say, hey, you ain't coming in here, mate. This is not the place for you to be. A lot of links are going to get taken out though. So Prism is still consistently warping in. Fort base can be taken anytime soon as well. +1 armor as a follow-up here for herO, who's still just... Oh my god, a blink forward. This is not what I would have expected. And I don't think this is what Rogue expected either. Kind of being caught out of position. All of his links were trying to make their way across the map. And that's what made that blink in so extremely beautiful. If the links were there, these Stalkers would have been caught by the links and then Biles could have finished the job. Even now, with the links returning, this fight... Oh, well, nah, Rogue is not going to be capable of holding this. 14 more Roaches on the way, but also 8 more Stalkers. This fort base is going to be toast with these +2 Stalkers just rampaging forward right now. There is still an observer somewhere, and it, well, actually it just literally just now died. As we see the remains over here near the 3rd base of Rogue. I can't believe that herO is actually pushing through with this build. This is kind of wild. It felt like he was completely dead and he just came back from the grave. He was a dead man walking, but here he is with a large Stalker force. 35 Stalkers once again moving in. Blink forward. No, just no blink whatsoever. Tanks 1 or 2 Biles there. Shoots one of his own Stalkers as well. Weird sequence of events in those past 15 seconds there for our Protoss player. Another blink forward. Are we going to see it? No, just blink backs. Ooh, Overseer gets biled down by his own Ravager mates. Link count is extremely low. We have 8 Ravagers, 10 Roaches, 38 Stalkers. And don't forget that these Stalkers are up and upgrade as well, which means that they're just trading kind of well against this army here. That's fantastic to see. We see a blink forward as well. Another blink forward, perhaps possible. Yes, no, no, yes, blink forward. Here we go. Ground armor +1 will finish up, but I don't think it's even going to matter because herO is already winning this fight in a big, big way. There's 6, 7 links remaining, couple of queens, a single Ravager. GG gets called, and the series is all tied here on Glittering Ashes. Game number 3 here on Curious Minds. I'd love to see that proxy gate build that herO wanted to play in game number 1, but I'm afraid we're never going to be seeing it. That looked extremely cool, and we might have been robbed the opportunity of witnessing a new cool build by good old Rogue here. Once again opening up with that 15 hatch, and herO's getting tricked again and again by that 15 hatch. Rogue says, Not today, my friend. I'm gonna get that hatch down on my natural every single game, or I'm gonna be 12 pooling, and that has been the case so far, as the probe receives a fair amount of damage. Gets another hit here. herO needs to start being careful. As these... Ooh, look at that. Ring around the rosy. So they're chasing one another. So circling that assimilator. So herO is very solid probe movement majority of the time as well. Whenever you talk with Zerg players, the top Zerg players, they always tell you that herO has the best probe control. This might be the reason why this drone is continuously chasing it, as Rogue does not want to be losing too many minerals from herO denying 1 or 2 mineral patches. Can be very frustrating, of course. Anyway, Cybernetics core is going down at home Nexus first, before that core, as the assimilator gets thrown down. Now, this is a map that is extremely small, and before the patch I would have said it's impossible to play any Stargate openers because of Queen walks, but post-patch I say it's going to be difficult to do any type of Stargate openers, but it's not impossible. Without the transfuse of creep, there are certain openers that just have become a lot more viable on this map. Any type of early Oracle or single Void Ray into Oracle type of play. Of course, increased in viability. We have low gas income here. There's another chrono being used on the Nexus as well. None on the gateway. Twilight Council? Okay. You've caught my attention here, herO. What do you have planned? Seeing that chrono here is kind of wild. I think we're heading for somewhat of a heavy eco build here. Maybe one more chrono? No, pulls out of gas? Okay. Oh, stuck. That's stuck. I recognize that. Yeah. Look at you. He saved the chrono boost on the gateway to recall his own adept. That he accidentally got stuck. It's kind of unfortunate, honestly. I'm making jokes, but that really does suck. As 2 of these gateways will get thrown down before the first warp gate timing. Gateway takes 46 seconds. The warp gate research time is 100 seconds. So if you build a warp gate before 54 out of 100 here in the bottom right, that means that the gateways will be ready to warp into warp gates the moment they finish. Like, it finishes the same time as warp gate, basically. So that's often an important timing that we're looking at to see what the intention of a build order is going to be. How aggressive is it going to be? Now, in this case, I think we saw 3 gateways total, which will be simultaneous with this warp gate, and one that is going to be delayed by 4 or 5 seconds. Robotics facility is being skipped. This is a beautiful little fake here, by the way. Oh, wow. I love this fake. This looks so similar to a Stargate opener. We see Spore is being built right now. This is, of course, not the biggest investment, but it still is somewhat of an investment. Is that a Stalker that just got warped in here? It's an interesting warping location. I'll give herO that. And now this Overlord probably will need to be taken out. Or should be taken out at some point. It's really scary here if you're a rogue, by the way, to just blindly start producing roaches. What if the opponent is saving up phoenixes or oracles? This is something that herO has done in the past. Now these adepts make their way in towards the third. I think Rogue just barely missed that. I don't think Rogue saw it. No, he did. 12 links on the way. He might believe that they're without glaives, though. As it's going to be, what is this? Is this 10? This is a cool build order, 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like 10 to me. Well, I saw it up here in the unit stat. But yeah, 10 adepts against practically 0 roaches. That's a real issue here for Rogue, who's just... he's gonna struggle to stay alive right now. These adepts are taking out unit after unit. 2 queens have already gone down. 3rd queen will fall right now. This roach will get blasted as well. Do we have more adepts on the way? Yes, we do. 4 more adepts on the way. Stalker's gonna start marching across the map. This feels almost like an F2 move here at this point. And I think herO is just straight up winning right now. Where's the follow-up? He's floating a crap ton of money. Double Stargates are being thrown down. This is the herO as we know him. Glaive Adept into double Stargate, a very common build order that he used to play before he went to the military, and this is one of the first times I have seen him do it afterwards, and it's working absolutely brilliantly. Yes, he hasn't killed a lot of drones, but he killed a crap ton of queens. 3 queens have gone down, 50 links have gone down. and now the main base is going to be completely empty, and now the drones will start falling. 3, 4, 5 workers going down. There's still adepts in the third base as well, now shading in towards the natural. The drones aren't safe anywhere. There's a stalker at the third, adepts in the natural, and the adepts just have disappeared in the main base. 18 workers going down, 26 against 50. herO still has this base as well. He's not producing any workers. Double Void Ray is the follow-up, but it doesn't even matter. GG gets called, and herO wins game number 3 and puts himself on match point in this best of 5. Game number 4 is here on 2K Atmospheres, by most people considered to be one of the most balanced maps and most fun maps in the history of StarCraft 2. And we have the honor of getting our 4th game here after 3 games that honestly have been different from what I usually see. And we're heading into our 4th. Ooh, gets the block off this time around, so he gets fooled twice before, but no third time here, as herO manages to get the block off on the 15 hatch. Rogue decides to build 2 more drones, get the hatch at 17 on the third base location. Kind of what you expect if you try to trick herO here. He's the ultimate trickster, and he doesn't like being tricked himself. He's never heard of the golden rule, I can tell you that much. As yeah, herO so far has been switching it up, showing us builds that I didn't know were a thing, showed us builds that I didn't know were viable, showed us builds that seemed relevant in 2016, 2017, and he's making them look very, very good. Rogue, of course, no slouch, no walkover, is kind of getting tricked here by the Korean toss, the smiling assassin. He'll slit your throat while he's laughing, and that's what he's been doing so far to Rogue. I mean, Rogue just hasn't been in the top shape here. He hasn't been able to kind of figure out what's going on in all of these games and counter it the way he's supposed to. So I am just curious to see what herO has planned. It's obvious to me that at this point herO is the one in charge. He is the one that decides the pace of the game. He's the one that decides, well, what Rogue needs to do, and Rogue needs to figure out what's going on. Perhaps a quick Overlord scout is something that he could try and incorporate. On the other hand, I mean, even if he does get it, what are you going to see? You're going to see the first tech structure, but often the trick comes after the first tech structure gets thrown down. You have the Stargate, once again, fast warp gate into that Stargate. I want to see what herO has planned. Is it going to be the same thing that we saw on Glittering Ashes, that single Void Ray into a Blink Stalker all-in? I'd be surprised. I didn't like the build that much, but as a one-time build, it seemed to function absolutely perfectly. However, a second time, can you really trick a player the caliber of Rogue a second time with the same trick? I don't think that is going to be quite possible. We'll see what he opts for though. It's most likely going to be a Void Ray first. It's the only thing that really makes any type of sense, as this adept is not really planning on scouting. herO doesn't really care what other people do. He cares about what's happening on his side of the map. What's happening on his side of the map is probably going to be some cool little tricks. The second gateway gets thrown down, and we have a third pylon also being built right now. And the Void Ray indeed is the Stargate unit of choice here for our DPG Protoss player. Rogue with a triple Overlord is going to I don't think you're supposed to build 3 Overlords here. It seems like it's a tiny supply block. I know it's not uncommon to get supply blocked at 44 and to build double Overlords. Building 3 Overlords, I'm not aware of this yet, but it seems to all work out just fine. So maybe I'm the idiot here. Well, most definitely I'm the idiot here. This Void Ray and Adept are just kind of marching around the map, trying to look for maybe some links or just having a little dance off. That's fine as well. You can dance if you want to, Void Ray. You can leave your Nexus and the Pro building it behind. Because if you and the Adept like having fun, then that's completely okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, it's going to be Phoenixes. Of course it's not going to be a similar build order. This is herO. herO does not repeat builds. He is someone that plays a build once, then throws it in the trash, and then before the next series he checks his trash cans. Like, oh, is there anything interesting in here? It's like, oh, that's all my builds. Like, yep. He picks out 1 or 2 and boom, once again wins his series. He has a very peculiar way of playing. As 4 games in, we haven't seen a single build repeat yet. out of the Korean Protoss player. Oracle is going to move home as well, as this Phoenix production is now starting. Oh. And imagine what this does to Rogue as well, right? Like Rogue, who's been struggling to figure out what's going on. What is he really going to see this game that might be capable of tipping him off? There's nothing researching here on the cybernetics score. No +1 air weapons or anything like that. Now there's 4 links marching across the map. Do you start building 20, 30 links? Do you want to even get some roaches? Are you afraid of glaives? Like, what is happening here? You're not quite sure, and you need to make decisions. You can't just sit there and do nothing. 14 links being built right now. No third base yet, although we're 5 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. We have a quick evo chamber. We have that lair finishing up, and perhaps we could see something of an overseer being morphed. Pneumatized carapace also being researched right now, so we do have that overlord speed. The overseer gets morphed at home. Left side is being attacked by 3 adepts and an oracle. They see the complete lack of, well, quite honestly, they see the lack of everything here, as there's no base here. Lack of a fort base, the lack of any units, the lack of creep as well. Now we have a spire being built. Similar setup as Rogue was going for in that game number 1, with a very late fort base. So he wants to start building units right now, and that is bad news for Rogue, because the one thing you do not want against Phoenixes is roaches. You want drones, queens, and more drones. If he gets a... Oh, 3 more queens are being built right now. So this got spotted by that overseer. This is actually kind of big. The fact that not a single roach was produced yet is huge. I don't know. Yeah, that was not possible. It was too many queens, too many transfuses available. Without +1, these phoenixes are good, but they're not that good. Extra spores right now going down. Main base is vulnerable though, as a herO jumps in, pops a couple of drones immediately, pops them like balloons. These overlords also start going down, but a couple of phoenixes getting targeted down here. 3 phoenixes have fallen, 10 workers have gone down. Of course, herO is feeling high and mighty in this game so far. I mean, he's up in worker count currently. He has double Stargate Phoenix against someone opening up with a quick spire. This fort base was extremely late, but the queen count is still intact at 12. That is a big deal. That really is a big deal. The follow-up will be second robotics facility and robo bay. Charge, 6 extra gateways. No fort base yet here for herO, who's going to lose another phoenix. No, keeps it alive. We have 11 phoenixes with 3 gone down. That means that 14 phoenixes total have been produced. 10 workers is a lot, but you're going to need to get more done if you end up building 14 phoenixes. That is 1400 gas. And well, it's also a crap ton of minerals. 2100. Add those 2 together and you get a lot of resources. 3500? Yeah, 3500 resources invested in this. And so far you only killed 10 drones. Of course, there's the kind of the fact that these drones are not mining, so there's some snowball in killing workers, but still, in real value, it's only 500 minerals. That's not that bad. Corruptors are being built to counter these phoenixes, and these corruptors don't really have much of a purpose except just flying around trying to catch these phoenixes. Are there queens in the main? No, there's not. Mutas. Wow. It requires a very brave man to build mutas when there's 12 phoenixes already, especially if these mutas end up getting spotted. If they don't get spotted, perhaps they can fly around, deal some damage somewhere. Look at that, look at that. Oh, I don't think they got spotted there. I think that herO is pretty unaware of what's going on here. His fort base extremely late as well. Uh-oh. He's moving out right now, and this is at a timing where it feels like Rogue is not quite ready for a move out. There's no roaches. He's following this up with pure mutas. Mutas trade well against zealots, but they don't deal too well with archons usually. I think roaches should be the unit of choice here. But more mutas in production. We have spines being thrown down. I do like that. All of those in the natural. I think we might be gearing up for a bit of a base trade here. This is something we don't see every single day. Archons zoning out these corruptors as the phoenixes try to get to work. Still no upgrade on the phoenixes either yet, by the way. There's a single disruptor with this army. No, there's 2 disruptors total. Where's that second disruptor? Okay, it's now moving out. Here come the archons trying to fight the mutalisk. It's 3 Archons against, what is it, 18 Mutas? These Mutas actually will be able to take out all of these Archons. No Prism Micro is being utilized there either, and there's a lot of Zealots on the ground right now, and now these Spines are going to be so useful in combination with the Queens. Mutalisk will be able to take out a lot of these Zealots. It's 69 workers for herO though, against the 48 of his opponent, and although herO does not have much of an army remaining, he still has a lot of Zealots running around, killing bases, killing drones. We have a lot more drones on the way. There's still 20 Mutalisk though. The question now isn't so much, will Rogue be able to drone back up, but the question is, will herO be able to hold his home? Will he be able to hold his third base, his natural, his main, without taking massive losses here? I love the counterattack with the Prism. I think sending more Zealots across the map is the correct call here. Trying to deny gas mining on that fourth base, on the third base, at the same time trying to defend all of these Mutalisks. There is a lot of Stalkers. Blink is not quite done yet. Here come more Mutas with Links, attacking these Archon shots. Ooh, the Prism will get the pickup on both of these Archons, and the Prism stays alive for now. Blink is not quite done yet. There's 22 Mutalisks as more Zealots are making their way in. They actually charge on a couple of creep tumors. Not ideal, not quite what you want, as 5 of these Zealots did end up dying to the Queens. Now, there's still a bit of a worker lead here for herO, but his supply is so extremely low right now. 41 army supply against 107. There is 2 Archons here, but I'm not quite sure if this is going to be enough. Once +2 finishes for these Stalkers, they're going to be a lot more useful, but before that, there's just such a huge army, and dealing with this base trade is going to be very, very tough. Rogue says, I don't actually want a base trade. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to defend at my Spines. I will try to snipe this Prism. That's going to be absolutely vital here for the defense. I do believe Corruptor should be capable of taking care of that Prism. Mutalisk fighting these Stalkers. Only a single Archon remaining, and the Mutas will be victorious here. And with that win, I just think that Rogue has this game. He'll tie up the series 2-2, and we'll be heading into our final match of this best of 5. Alrighty friends, we have our 5th game here, Rogue versus herO. And herO so far has been in the driver's seat this entire series. He almost made me believe that he's the one that invented the driver's seat with how comfortable he is being in there. He knows every little trick. He just seems to have it all. 4 games, 4 different build orders, 4 vastly different build orders, I should say. These are no small variations. He shows that it's definitely capable as a Protoss player to play a lot of different builds at a high level and be competitive with those. Rogue has just been struggling dealing with this. Last game, of course, didn't go brilliant for herO, but I don't think that was necessarily because of the build order. His build once again worked, and he killed a lot of workers. He got himself in a good spot. The follow-up, I think, was just a little bit more debatable, and I think this might be the issue in herO's games in general. Even the game on Curious Minds, his follow-up, the double Stargate went down while he was floating 600 minerals and 450 gas. That is kind of slow for a professional player, floating that many resources in a builder that's supposed to be tight. Now, luckily he killed 40 workers, so it didn't really matter, but it's something to keep in mind. If this last game that we just saw, the 2K Atmospheres game, was executed a little bit tighter in the follow-up, or a follow-up that perhaps makes slightly more sense, I think he's in a marvelous position there. He's up in workers that entire time. He kind of has the control of the air with the Phoenixes. He can just get whatever unit comp he likes to get. He ends up getting a double Robo with a Robo Bay, only boosts out 2 Disruptors, and then there's like a 12-gate push with 12 Phoenixes still alive as well. It's just a little bit odd, in my opinion, but I'm not going to be complaining, as herO's been showing me some fantastic games as well. Stalker, as the first unit, herO has not been too keen on chrono boosting his gateway units. Now that often gives scouting issues, and it often really results in nothing, right? Because you can get a lot of info with this probe. For example, right now there's no third base yet. It's obviously going to come down any second now. But if you never chrono boost your gateway, it can be difficult to spot like weird little all-ins, and they could potentially be very difficult to deal with. This probe is going to get pushed back. Overlord, I'm not quite sure if it spotted the Stalker. I don't think it did. It's kind of hanging in between the gateway and this little pillar. Ooh. Okay, we actually see a Roach Warren here. So this is the exact scenario that I was just trying to describe. This is really difficult. I'm not saying this is 100% over. This is not the worst thing that could happen for herO, but it is one of the things that is pretty darn bad, if it will happen. He's going to follow this up with a Dark Templar drop. So this is the one build that we have not had yet. Check it off on the checklist, I guess. 7 roaches on the way. Without a battery though, this is so difficult. There's no third gateway unit either. There's just now a third gateway being worked. It's a blind battery. This guy is a maniac. How does he know? How does he know? He hasn't scouted after that probe went back home. That is crazy. Builds a backup pylon as well. This is... It's like his... You can see through the fog of war because this makes no sense. Oh my god, he just gets a blind battery here. Of course, that makes the build a little bit worse in a usual scenario. That's something we never see at high level StarCraft 2. But herO just does it. He says, hey, it feels weird. I have a weird itch on my left foot. Let me just throw down this battery. Now scouts with the glaive there, with the adept. Sees that there's a move out. It's still not going to be 100% hold. With only a single bile being able to be thrown down at a time. This super battery is going to be able to hold for a long time. As these roaches are trying to target it down, they will not get it. I would have much preferred if Rogue would have just sat back for a little bit. Now this adept is going to get taken out. But first DT gets warped in as well. And oh my god, gets the hold position here in the little hole. And this is just terrible stuff here for Rogue, who honestly I thought this was going to be an absolute free win, but with that blind battery, life becomes manageable. Still a lot of links in the main base. There's no real defense in the main yet. The Immortal is on the way. 6 workers go down practically immediately. Where's that DT? Where's that DT? DT is a little bit too far behind right now. 8 workers have gone down already. There's drones behind this. Lair on the way as well. 24 workers here for Rogue. 31 for herO. This Nexus is going to get targeted down. I'm not quite sure if it's actually going to die. Ooh, this is going to be quite close. Is it going to be close? No, it's not going to be close. It's just going to die. A lot of links will stay alive as well. And the Zerg is up a base. But what? Why? No, just run back home. Run back home with these links, my friend. That's a lot of units that you can perhaps save. No, oh, it's gonna give up these links. I think that's a huge error here. I actually do believe that to be a mistake. Well, still managed to sneak out. Rogue is a slippery one, huh? That's ridiculous. Slippery Sam over here, just getting out with these links. I really thought they were dead. They look dead to me. I look at that and say, well, these are not gonna make it, but they did make it. This guy has balls for days as well. He's not getting a spore after scouting that his opponent opened up with a freaking DT opener. He's like, I don't think I need a spore. Gets one spore in the main base. Nothing at the third. Yeah, gets a spore now, but if a DT was over here, oh, your drones would have been sliced already. Lots of roaches on the way, of course, trying to deal with any potential follow-up. No natural yet either. I'm not sure how good this game is for Rogue. It looks fine, but the queen count is very, very low. There is not a lot to deal with these drops. Like, there's some links, there's a couple of roaches, but roach against an immortal drop, not quite what you want. Spore can get taken out as well, and if 3-4 workers die here, it might just be fine, no? Yeah, Spore gets taken out. Robo Bay is a follow-up right now. Sure, we're still mining off of one base and long-distance mining from the other. Extractor's gonna get targeted down. I like this Spire. I think the Spire is a good call. Low eco situations, Spires are often kind of what you want. It is a very odd series. It has been just an odd series. A different build in every game, and then to end it like this, just kind of wild. We have an Evo Chamber. What's this Evo Chamber position? It's something you don't see every single day. Rogue is also a special cookie sometimes. It just makes all these moves, which to me this seems like a free target for the Immortals, but it must have some type of value in blocking stuff off, potentially. Maybe he was afraid of like a charge lot attack and wanted to create some type of artificial wall there. I think that must have been the plan. Blink Disruptor as a follow-up. So the follow-up is going to be a 2-base all-in here. And, well, with Disruptors and 2 Immortals, honestly, these roaches are going to be kind of toast. Not the good type of toast that you get on the Sunday morning, but the type of toast you get if you stay over at my house and it's all burnt. It's not good, let me tell you that much. That's why none of my friends stay over at my house anymore. I'm not allowed to touch the toaster anymore, because it smells up the entire place. Now this is going to be bad, I think, for Rogue. It felt like he did enough damage, but I'm not so sure anymore. Where's that Disruptor right now? Actually, where is that Disruptor? It's stuck! Are you kidding me? Oh my god, waits for a Disruptor to do his all-in, and then the Disruptor gets stuck. I wonder if he's ever gonna shoot it or not. This is ridiculous right now. This is so sick, with that Disruptor being stuck and the mutas making their way across the map. They'll see that Disruptor and take a couple of free pot shots, but of course they should just be focusing completely on the workers. We have a recall right now coming out. herO is gonna go back home. Blink finishes up. This Disruptor's gonna get picked up. +1's about to finish up as well. This is just looking poor here for our Protoss player right now. Giving his opponent just a bit too much time. Yeah, Rogue's completely aware of what's going on right now. All that Rogue needs to do is not die. That sounds easy, but it's still going to be hard. I mean, he's going to be down an upgrade. He has 5 completely useless Mutalis. Well, not completely useless. I mean, they can tickle the opponent a bit. Well, now it used to be 5, now it's 4. If he hadn't mistargeted on that debris, it probably would have been 3. One Archon goes down for free. And, ooh, interesting blink there. Disruptor's gonna start marching forward as well. Here's the Purification Nova. Here's the Purification Nova. Can we get that Purification Nova? No, we can't. No, we can't actually. Oh my god, that was a sick snipe there out of Rogue. Drones being pulled off the line as well. 2 Immortals in the back still dishing out a lot of damage. These biles are largely hitting. Somehow, some way though. I think herO might just be doing this. Ravager's running low. Drones, oh my god, they tank so much damage against Stalkers and Immortals. There's a lot of roaches here in the back. Mutas trying to take out this Prism. GG gets called as Rogue says, no, I can't do it anymore. Lost 20 workers there and loses the game and thus loses the series. herO with a, well, honestly, with the killer instinct here in that last game. Smelling the blood in the water. Like the shark that he is, he just eats Rogue alive. Fantastic series. If you're a Protoss player especially and you want to get some new build orders or tired of building Void Rays, not sure what to do in the new patch, then here you go, my friends. herO has it all figured out. Just copy this crap and you can beat Rogue as well. Great series to watch. I absolutely love this. Yeah, this is going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.